Hi everyone. Today we'll be presenting a summary of the State of Community Report for Comanche County as part of the comprehensive planning process. We'd like you to watch this presentation and think about a couple of questions. We want you to tell us afterwards if this data seems right based on your personal local knowledge. What stands out as an opportunity or a concern to you? What this information is telling you about priorities for the county in the years ahead, and any gaps or things that we've missed. So the idea of this process is to build on the strengths that Comanche County has, and to use it to build the county that we want to see in the future. First, Comanche County's population is estimated at just under 14,000. That includes about 4,200 in the city of Comanche, 2,200 in De Leon, and 500 in Gustine. The current population is about half of its historic peak in the 1920s. The population declined dramatically in the mid-20th century before gradually recovering, and in the last 20 years it has begun another gradual decline. So the city of Comanche has had about twice the population of De Leon for most of their histories, although at one point the two cities were similar in size. Within the region, Comanche County is one of the smaller counties located between the regional centers of Brownwood and Stephenville, which are in the counties of Brown and Erath. As of 2010, those two counties had similar populations, a bit more than twice that of Comanche counties. Although Brown County was slightly larger in 2010, it's expected to decrease in population long term, while Erath County has likely overtaken it and is projected to grow by 35% over the time period 2010 to 2050. Over the same time period, Comanche County's population is projected to decrease by 36%. These trends are from the Texas Demographic Center and reflect widening differences between regional centers such as Stephenville, with more retail and a college, and rural areas such as Comanche. Comanche County's population is balanced with about 1 in 4 residents age 65 or older and about 1 in 4 residents under 18. The remaining half of the population is considered working age, 18 to 65, with more of them in the late career stage, that is after age 45. The county's population is older than the Texas average, and this trend is expected to increase in the future. On your left, you can see a population pyramid with 5-year age brackets for men and women. In line with national trends, the baby boomer generation is larger than following generations. There appears to be an unusually large population of young men, aged 15 to 20, which may be due to agricultural workers. On the right, you can see the population of different age groups over time, showing a general trend towards an aging population. Although Comanche County's population has historically been mostly non-Hispanic whites, in recent years the Hispanic population has grown strongly. Since 2010, the non-Hispanic white population has dropped from 72.6% to an estimated 68.1%. The Hispanic population, which made up just over 1/4 of the county's population in 2010, is expected to reach 40% by 2050. This reflects statewide trends, But unlike other parts of Texas, the county has very small Black and Asian populations. Within the county, poverty is slightly higher than the Texas average, and it's concentrated within the cities of Comanche and De Leon rather than in rural parts of the county. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, it had decreased steadily since the Great Recession and narrowed the gap with statewide trends. Due to the county's older population compared to the Texas average and a larger population of retired people, there is a lower rate of workforce participation. It's worth noting that Comanche County does not show the extreme educational disparities found in major cities in Texas, although it has a relatively small population of college-educated workers. Within the county, agriculture dominates the economy. 55% of workers in the county have wage or salary jobs as opposed to being sole proprietors or working on commission. And just under half of wage or salary jobs in the county are located in the city of Comanche, with 18% in De Leon and a small number in Gustine. Agriculture makes up over 20% of all jobs in the county, although there are three other large sectors which each make up over 10% of county employment, namely education, healthcare, and retail. As shown in the graph at the bottom right, wages tend to be lower than the state average. Broadly speaking, economic trends have been towards specialization, with the major sectors of agriculture and education posting faster growth locally than the state average for these industries. At the same time, construction and healthcare have experienced job losses within the county despite growth in these sectors statewide. Within agriculture, picking and processing fruit and nuts and food processing are standout industries. Although the job growth rate has lagged the state average, before the COVID-19 pandemic, it was recovering. Realtor survey results confirm that job availability is one of the aspects of living in the county that residents are less satisfied with the graph at the bottom right indicating a large number of people commuting long distances to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Now, within the agriculture sector, the number of farms has been decreasing due to consolidation and retirement, with 43.9% of farmers age 65 or older. The average farm size is 341 acres, and 97% are family farms, with less than 1 in 5 farms hiring workers. 73% of farms have internet access, and the most profitable sector is animal agriculture, of which dairy makes up 70% of this sector.
The nature of the housing stock in Comanche County is different from Texas state averages in regards to housing unit type and age of units. These two graphs visualize trends in housing unit type and age of units. The graph on the left shows when housing units were built. Comanche County follows the general trends of Texas, but has more homes built before 1960 and fewer built since 1990 than state averages. The graph on the right illustrates what percentage of housing units are single-family, multifamily, or mobile homes. Comanche County has higher rates of single-family housing, 75% compared to 67.8% for Texas, and more mobile home stock at 21% to 7.2% than Texas. Comanche County has smaller households than average and is primarily composed of homeowners. 36% of those homeowners are currently paying a mortgage, which is much lower than in urban areas. This might be because many properties are owned outright or the use of alternative financing methods such as rent to own. Another important difference from statewide trends is the fact that 25% of renters in the county do not pay rent. This might be influenced by the county's agriculture industry, with farm workers having housing provided as a part of their compensation. It is also worth noting that the vacancy rate for Comanche, at 28.4%, is much higher than Texas's 11.3%. This appears to be influenced by a large number of homes for seasonal or recreational use. These two graphs illustrate median housing costs by type of ownership and percent of household income spent on rent. In the graph on the left, the three types of ownership are owning with a mortgage, owning without a mortgage, or paying rent. The graphs compare averages for Texas, Comanche County, and Comanche City. Median costs are noticeably lower in Comanche County and Comanche City than Texas averages. The graph on the right shows percentage of household income spent on rent for Texas and Comanche County. For the most part, Texas and Comanche County trends are similar. However, Comanche County does have noticeably fewer households spending over 35% of their income on rent. Nevertheless, a significant number of residents, around 40%, pay more than 30% of their income on housing costs, which designates them housing cost burdened and can represent significant financial stress. Although this is a smaller proportion than the state average, it points to a part of the population that may be struggling to make ends meet.
Now, in this section slide, we will discuss the environmental aspects of Comanche County. Comanche County is located in the Cross Timbers region, which is characterized by dry conditions, 25 to 35 inches of annual rainfall, a landscape of low clusters of trees, which are dominated by live and post oak. Majority of the county is dominated by tree species such as pecan and sycamores. However, the region has 17 threatened or endangered species. The map to the right is a 2016 Comanche land cover map. The 2016 land cover data is the latest data available, and the land cover displays land uses such as developed areas, wetlands, open forest, and more. This map can be used to determine the distribution of natural habitats to assist in comprehensive planning, and it can also assist decision makers to make better decisions about land use in particular areas. Since Comanche is a larger geographical area, it is hard to see the color patterns in the map. In Comanche County, there are more brown and green colors, which is classified as vegetation. Overall, the county is 88.3% made up of shrubs, forest, cultivated crops, and wetlands. Of that vegetation, 34.4% of the county is grassland and 1.94% is open water. Only 2.7% of the county is developed. Next, we will explore hazard vulnerabilities in Comanche County. The county has had a number of disruptive events since 1989. Comanche County has experienced 18 major or emergency disaster declarations. Comanche County has declared 5 severe storms, 3 severe flooding events, 1 drought, 3 major fire events, 3 hurricanes, and recently a biological pandemic. These maps on the slide is the floodplain for the city of Comanche and De Leon. The entire county's floodplain data was not available. We were able to get these two maps from the West Central Texas Council of Government Hazard Mitigation Plan. The floodplain informs the community about local flood risks in the area. The blue areas in both of the maps are considered high risk of flooding. This information is valuable for planning and emergency service. Also, the Hazard Mitigation Plan reported 10 severe flooding events in Comanche County from 1993 to 2010, which caused deaths, injuries, and over 11 million in property damage. This slide shows the wildfire ignition density. The wildfire ignition density is the likelihood of a wildfire starting based on historical ignition patterns. Most Texas fires are human caused and produce a repeatable spatial pattern of fire ignitions over time. This pattern identifies areas where wildfires are most likely to ignite, and prevention efforts can be planned accordingly. The levels of risk are categorized into classes from low to very high. The darker red areas are where this analysis predicts a wildfire are most likely to occur. Yellow areas are moderate and green areas are low risk. Only 1.7% of the county is considered very high risk, and 4.9% is of high risk. The high and very high risk areas are located in more denser, more populated areas. However, a majority of the county is at low risk, with 43.6% of the county at low risk and 12.8% at moderate risk. Next, we will talk about travel patterns of Comanche County workers. An inflow-outflow analysis measures the interregional commute for jobs within the county. Most residents work outside of the county, with a significant number commuting to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. As shown in the figure on the slide, a majority of residents that live in Comanche County commute out of the county for work. 38.8% of workers live outside of the county but commute to Comanche County to work. Lastly, only 2,333 workers are employed and live in the county. For this slide, we would like you to think about how far you typically travel for work and how you get there. The average Comanche County resident commutes over 25 miles for work. A significant number of residents commute to regional centers such as Brownwood, Stephenville, and Abilene. Over 40% of workers commute more than 50 miles each way to work, predominantly to the Fort Worth and other parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro complex. However, more than 1 in 4 workers has a commute of less than 10 miles. In most rural areas, the most common mode of transportation is driving, and that is evident in Comanche County. An estimated 81.6% of workers living in Comanche County drive alone to work, which is similar to the 80.6% of Texas commuters. Residents also carpool, with 11.3% of residents carpooling to work. However, due to the lack of public transportation alternatives, no one relies on transit compared to the 1.4% of Texas residents. For this last section, we will display key information about Comanche County's community facilities. Within Comanche County, there are 4 independent school districts. While we recognize there are more school districts in Comanche, a majority of students in Comanche are supported by Comanche, De Leon, Sidney, and Gusting ISD. Each school district offers all levels of primary and secondary schools. The 4 independent school districts have a total of 2,238 students and 205 teachers, for an average student-to-teacher ratio of 11:1. For emergency services, Comanche County Medical Center provides medical services for Comanche, Erath, and Brown County. This medical facility is small, only has 25 beds, and covers a wide range of needs from gynecology, cardiology, community health, and more. Inside the county, there are police departments for the city of Comanche and De Leon, with 7 sworn officers in Comanche and 3 in De Leon. The county has 1 sheriff's department, which has performed 569 stops in 2019. Additionally, the county has 7 volunteer fire departments with 71 volunteers and 14 non-firefighter supporting staff. Comanche County's most significant amenity is Proctor Lake, with a lot of recreational activity like camping, boat ramps, walking, and hiking trails are available. Lastly, historical places such as Comanche County Museum and De Leon Area Historical Museum exhibits artifacts dating back from 1874. And with that concludes our presentation. I hope you can take this information and talk about it and see where the gaps are in the data, and be able to provide us with crucial feedback that will help in the comprehensive planning of Comanche County. Thank you.